Hey fishing friends, this is Matthew with Out Fishing 13. Recently I acquired a Black Max Zebco 33, or the Zebco 33 Max Black. um, anyways, I bought this on eBay from Simmons Sporting Goods online, and when I got it, I took it apart to see how things looked, and I noticed that it was scraping as it was going around without any pressure on it. So I took it apart and I discovered something. Let's take a look inside. So I'm going to fix something on this, but we're also going to take a look at what this 33 Max Black looks like on the inside compared to, say, other ones. And I'll show you how to service it, take it apart, and put it back together. If you look on eBay, you look on Amazon, you can still find these as of November 2019. And there's some that are called the Salt Fisher, and you can find them online. They're a great reel. I really like the looks of them. They're a big reel. Let me show you compared to, this is a 33 Platinum. You can see how much bigger they are. They hold 20-pound test, and I think something like 140 yards of 20-pound tests. So they're a great reel for catfishing, trolling. You can take them out in the salt water if you clean them off. They do have one that's called a Salt Fisher that's a little bit more durable with stainless steel, some stainless steel parts on it. But here was the problem with mine. Let me take off the cap here and take off the spinner cone. Here was the problem. It was missing a bearing here. Now, great thing about Simmons Sporting Goods in Alabama, and they're the ones that do the online eBay sales of all kinds of sporting goods, is they have really great customer service. So I called them up, and they're sending me a new reel. But I went ahead and ordered a parts because I can't use this one the way it is. And so I bought a bearing for this. The bearing part number happens to be an EY030-01. And you can find this particular part number on tackleservice.com under the spin casters, and look for like a Zebco 33 Platinum. There's a couple other ones that have this particular part number, EY030-01. Basically, it's a stainless steel ball bearing that's a 1/2 inch outer diameter, 1/4 inch inner diameter, and 3/16 of an inch wide. And it's a really common ball bearing, so you can actually find these without purchasing them through Tackle Service. So to fix this, I just need to take the back off here. Pop that off, set that aside. You just lift this up and move it to the side. I'm going to take the handle off because I want to take this, get this axle out, and to do that I got to take this axle out. So I'm going to take this off, set that aside. Okay, let's take a look at the inside of this just for the sake of evaluating the quality of this particular reel. Okay, so in this reel here, this has a white metal main shaft. It's all one piece with these main gears here. Okay, it has a bushing here. This is probably like a polyethylene HDPE, high density polyethylene bushing. Very durable, will last you a long time, and it's super easy to replace. It has a ball bearing here, and then that takes the torque, you know. So if you're reeling on this side, it's going to take the torque. Well, if I'm going to fish with my left hand, there's going to be a bunch of torque and pressure on that particular poly bushing there. So this is not the same size of bearing as this. It's a different size. So I've got to find a part number and order one of those if I want a ball bearing over there, which I'm probably going to do. So to take this off, just pop out this little retaining clip here. Set that over here. And now we can push this out here. And we can push this off. Now you got to be careful. There's a little copper washer that goes between this little gear there and this here. Now you'll notice this has sprockets right there, but there's nothing here for this. The regular 33 Max has a bait alert, and so it has these stops here. This one has an anti-reverse bearing in it, or a pawl. Okay, so we'll take this out. There we go. So there's that little copper washer. That goes between there and the bearing. So set those aside there. And we're ready to just kind of work this out. You just kind of got to work one side out, and then you can take the rest of it out. And this has not been used, so I'm not going to re-grease it and clean it all out. I'm just going to keep it on some clean cloth here. So if this anti-reverse paw comes out, just be really careful because it has little pin bearings that can fall out. You can see this has a very nice brass pinion gear. This is stainless here. This is a ball bearing, a roller bearing here, and this is the anti-reverse paw. See, I can spin it this way. I can't spin it that way. Okay. All right. Now, the rest of this is plastic. I'm not going to take this apart. If you do take this out here, there's a little spring that's got two little brass pins there. One goes over the spring and one goes inside the spring, and that's what makes this click and also makes this click here. But I don't need to take that apart. This does have a very good drag system in here. Well, let's show you the drag system. So on this side here, we're going to look at the drag system. You just need to take off this big retaining ring here, and just keep in mind it has to go on the same way because this one won't spin around. It just has one direction it can go. So let's take a look at the drag system. You got a big stainless steel washer here. You got a fiber washer here. So that's good quality. You got your spool here. And then on the back here, this is the drag adjustment here. I'm just going to set that back in there. You got this big stainless together. So I'm going to put this back here on here. This one right here goes back on here. It's got this little groove that has to go in there. And it also has a big fiber washer. So I'm not going to, I can show you. It's just like the other one. We're just going to put that back. And it's got plenty of good brand new grease on there. It is a brand new reel. It's never been used at all. So we're just going to put it back together. I just wanted to show you that very sturdy drag system. I mean, you could have fish screaming out there, and this is going to handle those big fish. Okay, now I'm going to make sure that this is set all the way to low, so I can get. I'm just going to put my retaining clip back on. And it goes on just one direction. It can't because this groove is just one way there. So there we go. Great drag system. All right, so let's fix this and put this bearing in here. So here's this bearing. This is actually a Zebco bearing. I ordered these and I showed you the part number there. So we're just going to take and press this in here into the nose cone. And that's it. That's what was missing. I'm going to put a little bit of oil on it. To get it down in there on top of here. When this is, when you're spinning this reel, these two little white, see that right there, those little two white wheels, they spin around on the surface of that center pin there. So they need to be greased well. This one doesn't look like it has very much grease on it, so I'm going to put some grease on this one. And these will actually spin around. It's one of what I would consider a major improvement that Zebco made, is their pickup system. It's a lot more durable than it's, I think, than some of the original ones. Turn this around here. We're going to put the shaft in, just like that. Okay, this in, back in there. Let's drop it in one side. And drop it in there. My copper washer and my main bearing here. Okay, it's seated on there. Take this little retaining pin clip. That in there. Put my poly wishing on. Put my handle back on. And smooth. This handle, you just put it up like this and line up that hole with that pin and that pin with this hole right here. And you just move it to the side. Okay. And then I can put the back on, put the top on first, and then back here you just gotta line up this groove and you just snap it on. And that's all it is, and it'll stay on there securely. Put the front spinner on. Whoops. This little thing came off. I actually ordered a new spool here because this one, to me, it looks like it has a manufacturer defect where it's missing some of the casting. So I'm going to get a new one of those, but for the time being, this one's going to work fine. So we'll put this back on. Spin that on. This has ceramic pickup pins. It has 2 of them. So that's really nice. To put these back on, it's easier if you caulk it. And then that hole goes in the bottom, so we just wanted to make sure it, and give it a little to the left there. But that's a great reel. That's the Zebco 33 Max. And anyways, let me know if you have any questions, comments below. I'll put that part number. I'll find the part number for this other bearing over here, and I'll put it in the description below. Thanks, and have a great day, and have a great day on the water when you go fishing next time. Hey there, so I just got a new part for my Zebco reel that I'm going to replace. Previously I'd shown you that, let me just show you, that the spool had a manufacturing defect in it. So I ordered a new spool, and what was going on here is this isn't broken, it's just not fully cast all the way right along in here. It's supposed to have a flat spot here, but it was cast wrong, and that's allowing this plastic piece to fall off. So I ordered a new part number right there, AAC32101, spool assembly for a 33 Max Gold. It's the same part number as these Max Blacks. So let's take it apart and replace that with this new spool here. One way to put them on. They don't have a groove that goes all the way around. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm going to cut, well, I'm just going to take this off here. Save these little line holders. They come in really handy. When you go fishing, just take and put it in your pocket or in your tackle box, and then you can always use it again to keep your line from getting all tangled up. Put this through the hole here. Push the button on these models. They're pretty tight there, so tighten that up. Reel it in. Bend about 2 inches back like this. Pinch that. Put it through your little line keeper hole there. And go around it. Just come back around. Go loop on there. And get a line keeper for your line. Okay. Alright, that's done. Now one of the things I want to do is I want to replace, on this reel, I want to add an extra bearing to it. It has a bearing in the nose, and it has a bearing in the back, and it has a bearing right here on the handle. It has 3 bearings, but I want to have 4 bearings. Hey there, fishing friends, this is Matthew again. I got some parts in for my 33 Max Black. I got a bearing, and I'm going to make this reel now a 4 ball bearing reel instead of just 3. So let's take a look. Okay, I just got these ball bearings in from Tackle Services, which sells Zebco parts, and I got 3 of them because I have 3 of these reels, and I just need to replace one bushing with a bearing to make this a true 4 ball bearing reel. So let me show you how we're going to do this. So to take the back cover off, we just need to, we don't even need to do that, but yeah, we do. We take this off here and take the button off. We need to take the handle out. Okay, we just need to take this bushing out right here. There we go. Don't run away. We'll save it. The size on this bearing is a 14 millimeter outer diameter, 8 millimeter inner diameter by 4 millimeters wide. Okay? So we're just going to put a little bit of oil on there to oil it up. And we're going to go ahead and insert it and seat it down in there. Okay, now it's seated down in there. Now I'm going to go ahead and put the reel handle on the left. But if you have one of these 33 Maxes, just the generic one, I think, had one, probably one ball bearing in it, which would be the back one back here, and then it would have bushings in these 2 locations and also in the front nose. The Max Blacks and the Golds and the Salts had 3 ball bearings, and but you can turn into a nice 4 ball bearing system just by replacing that one bearing right there. So that's a nice reel anyways. So that's all the things I'm doing to that reel. You know, when I got this reel, it had a bad had a bad spool that was not cast correctly. It was missing the bearing in the front, and then I updated that bearing, so now it's a 4-ball bearing system. And I'm going to do the same thing with my other two, and so they have all the ball bearings. And I'll just save these bushings if I ever need them, which I probably won't. All right, thanks for watching. Make sure you give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. That will help support this channel and keep it going. And I'll bring you more videos on how to repair reels and fishing, my fishing trips I take, and tackle that I'm doing. Anyways, thank you. Thank you for your support. Bye.